everyone! My name is Joanna, and I play the flute.
And my name is Hannah, and I play the oboe. We are both musicians from Continuo, Boston.
Today, we are going to review how the flute and oboe can make music like different animals, such as a bird or a duck.
We will also learn how a flute and oboe can make music together, almost like two animals talking to each other. All right, let's go!
First, let's review how a bird and a duck can make music. Have you ever heard a bird chirp outside? If you have, what sound does it make you think of? When I think of a bird, I think of how they go tweet, 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 and flap their wings. Can you tweet like a bird with me on the count of 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Tweet, 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 tweet.
All right, awesome job with the bird music, everyone. Next, we're going to review ducks. What comes to mind when you think of a duck? Whenever I think of ducks, I always think of the sounds they make. Quack, quack. I also think about how ducks like to go swimming in lakes and ponds. All right, let's try to make some duck noises and swimming movements together. Ready? Let's paddle like ducks. Usually I think their feet do something like this. Quack, quack, quack.
Great job, everyone! Next, we will play a game called Mystery Animal. Hannah and I will play a few different pieces of music on our instruments. And for each piece of music, we want you to guess whether you think it sounds like a bird tweeting or a duck quacking. Are you guys ready? Let's go!
In this first round of Mystery Animal, I am going to play an excerpt from Swan Lake on my oboe. Listen carefully and think about what animal it reminds you of. Does it sound like a bird flying in the air or a duck swimming in the water? Let's go! Great listening, everyone. If you thought that music sounded like a bird flying in the air, flap your wings with me. But if you thought that music sounded like a duck swimming in the water, stomp your feet. Great guesses, everyone. I think the composer, Tchaikovsky, who wrote the music, probably wanted it to sound like a duck or a swan gliding through the water. So if you said duck, awesome job!
In the second round of Mystery Animal, I will play an excerpt from Saint-Saëns' Carnival of the Animals on my flute. Listen carefully for what animal you think it sounds like. Do you think that sounded like a bird flying or a duck swimming? If you think it sounded like a bird, flap your wings and tweet like a bird. If you think it sounded like a duck, stomp your feet. Great guesses, everyone! I think Saint-Saëns wanted this piece of music to sound like a bird fluttering its wings. So if you guessed bird, you are right.
All right, time for the last round. This one is a bit of a tricky round because I am using a special part of my oboe called the reed. Why don't you guys think about if this sounds more like a bird or a duck? What do you think? I think this sounds very similar to a bird. So if you flapped your wings like a bird, great job!
If you thought any of these pieces of music sounded like other animals too, that's totally cool. Everyone's imagination is different, and that's one of the great things about music. It can sound different to different people, even me and Hannah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for playing Mystery Animal with us. I had so much fun. Raise your hands up high in the sky if you had fun too. Next, we are going to make a story together using music. Music is great because it can help move the story along, and it can also help you feel what the characters in the story are feeling. Joanne and I are going to play some music, and we want you to help us make this story about a duck and a sparrow. What do you think they might be feeling? What sounds do you think they might make? Let's set the scene. Our duck, played by the oboe, is swimming in the pond, and our sparrow, played by the flute, is flying high in the sky above. I think our duck might start by asking the sparrow, "Can you swim like me?"
This is a great start. What do you think the sparrow might say back? I think it might say, "I don't know. I've never tried before."
Maybe then our duck could teach the sparrow how to swim. How do ducks usually swim? That's right. Ducks swim by paddling their webbed feet.
Then our sparrow would try paddling. Sparrows have much smaller feet than ducks, so our sparrow might say, "I swam a little bit. Maybe with more practice, I'll be able to swim as far as you."
Thank you for joining us today. You all have learned so much about animals and the different sounds that they make, and also how music can be used to tell a story. I had so much fun with you. Great work!
We'd also like to say a big thank you to Boston Children's Museum for hosting us. Now next time you listen to or make music on your own, just remember to use your imagination. You can make music like an animal or tell any story you'd like through music. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye-bye!